He's hitting daggers, Sekou Doumbouya, as those Detroit Pistons are on a little bit of a roll up to 16-27 on the season, finding themselves 9th in the Eastern Conference, still 3 games out of the playoffs, and winners of 2 in a row, 4 out of their last 10, and are things starting to turn for Detroit? Will this team, even should this team, find a way to make the playoffs here in 2020?
I mean, that's a loaded question. We've seen some better play from the Pistons as of late. Again, 2 in a row for them with wins against the Celtics, minus Jason Tatum and the Atlanta Hawks, so I think it's kind of hard to lose to rather than beat. It's 2 games, and I feel like a lot of talking on Twitter has kind of shifted to, they should try to make the playoffs with these young kids. And, I'm not going to go out and say that would be a terrible thing, because I think it would be good for Luke to get back into the playoffs. Sekou, those young guys on the roster. But in a weak draft, it's important that if you're a losing team, you get the best pick possible, for what you can get to. And that would be doing the opposite. So you kind of have to weigh those 2 options. Do you try to win as many games as you can, or, do you lose? And for the Pistons, they're kind of stuck in the middle right now, because they're playing the young kids and they're winning. And it's only been 2 games, so I don't expect that to continue, especially again considering the caliber of teams that they've played against. But I don't see what else they can do to necessarily quote unquote tank when Sekou's starting, Svi's getting a bunch of minutes. These young guys are getting those minutes. The only thing that you really could do to try to solidify that you're trying to lose is trade Derrick Rose, is trade Langston Galloway, trade Andre Drummond, trade those, some of those older players on your roster. But for what the Pistons are doing right now, they're playing a lot of the young kids, and recently they found a couple wins. I don't know if you can ask them to do anything else outside of that.
These last 2 games, something that's really stood out is the play of Markieff Morris. As that someone else Detroit would need to move on if they want to go in the tanking direction. Because he seems to have found his flow a little bit here.
It's one of those things where you hate to root against the young guys in a sense of Sekou's going in, he's playing well, and they're winning. And again, right, it's only 2 games. It's not like they're on this massive streak and they've turned the season around, but they're starting to even just play more competitive in the games they're losing. Sekou is playing well. You mentioned Svi getting a lot of minutes. You want to see Sekou have success, but you also want to see Detroit be in the best draft position possible. And it's kind of a catch-22, because I don't want the Pistons to be the 8th seed and get swept out of the playoffs again by Milwaukee. That's not exciting to me. But if Detroit were to go in and say, hey, listen, there's not a market for Dre, we're holding on to him. Maybe we can move a piece like a Langston or a Markieff, and they still continue to find a way to be competitive and win, a fair chunk of games. I'm not going to be mad at Sekou going out and playing well. I am going to be mad if they buy for a short-term push to the playoffs for this year. That will piss me off.
Absolutely.
I think with Blake Griffin being out for the year, I don't think we're going to see that. No matter what.
Agree.
I mean, unless the Pistons went on like a 15-game win streak right here, which obviously the trade deadline's before that, so it'd be earlier than that. Like what?
6-7 game win streak.
It's about 6 games.
They have probably 8 to 9 games.
8 to 9?
Like February 6th. Right.
So let's say they win 4 more in a row. They're on a 6-game streak. Are they starting to pick up the phone saying, hey, we're trying to buy?
I don't think they should be
I
either
still
way.
don't think so. I think it's right up to the deadline. I think they go on, let's say it's 9 games. I don't know what it is, and that's bad for the pod, but let's say it's 9 games. Let's say they go 8 out of 9, then I'm concerned. Anything less than that, I don't think they do.
I don't think they should in general. They could win every single game up until the deadline, and it would still be a bad decision. Their mindset right now, if they want to try to win as many games as they can this year, should be do it with the roster that you have, because selling assets for short-term gain would just be a mind-numbing decision. And I don't think Ed Stefanski would do that.
It just keeps us in the middle. That's all that does.
And I don't think he would do that. I think he's shown some very,
He's shown a lot of tact.
Yes, exactly. So I wouldn't expect that, and I think it's important for Detroit to stand pat in the sense of we're not going to buy. We might sell. And that's kind of what I think Detroit should do. Even if they want to try to win this year, fine, so be it. But do what you did last year when they traded Reggie Bullock and got Svi Mihailuk and got that second-round pick. Do that again with your role players. Markieff Morris, Langston Galloway, at least those two guys, get what you can. Even if you only are able to get back a couple second-round picks and maybe you get a young player, fine. You take a flyer on someone, do it. Get those assets. It will make things easier for you down the line if you want to make a move. I get they're not flashy assets, but second-round picks, you come draft night, a team will come calling. A team will want a second-round pick, and that's where you will be able to get 2 second-round picks in the future. And that's how you build assets.
Second-round picks in this league, for some reason right now, are just like gold.
They're hot. They're valuable.
They're just hot. They're valuable. Teams want them. It helps them make future moves. It helps them make moves in the current, at their current state of affairs. Second-round picks are hot. Getting those assets, I'm all for it. Moving on from Langston, moving on from Markieff Morris, getting what you can from them. I'm still on the boat of trade Andre if you can. If there is some market, I know the market all of a sudden seems to be crashing through the floor right now. But if you can get a fair deal, I'm for that still as well.
Can I offer something to the pod? We talk about could, would, should. What I want to do is I want to talk about the Pistons' upcoming schedule leading up to this trade deadline. So maybe we could take a continued look at what they should do. They play over 10 games before the deadline. Washington, Sacramento, Memphis, or Brooklyn, Cleveland, and then Brooklyn again. That's their next 6 games. Boys, if the Pistons played well, they can win all 6 of those games, which would put them on an 8-game win streak. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying, what if? Then you have Toronto and Denver. Let's just say they're both losses. But then you get Memphis, Phoenix, and the deadline. Of those 10 games, if the Pistons win 6 or 7 of them, are they going to be thinking about buying? Because they'll play Phoenix on the 5th, and they have no game on the 6th. They win that night in Phoenix. Let's say they win 7 out of 10, which really makes it 9 out of 12 for the deadline. Are they picking up the phone?
1?
Should they pick up the phone? What's the cutoff?
1. Well, I mean, I'm going to stand pat in. I don't care what they win. They should not be picking up the phone to buy. 1. That's
they
not
get above 500. Actually, they would be 1. If they're 16-27, the best they could do is 1 game below 500.
It's not going to happen either way. You know, they're going to be playing Memphis, who is one of the hottest teams in the NBA right now. You know, Brooklyn is going to be tough for them because they've gotten Kyrie Irving back. And I get that they have not been playing well lately. But anytime you have a player like Kyrie Irving on the floor, you have a chance. They also just got Karis LeVert back a few weeks ago as well. So they've gotten healthier. It's obviously taking them some time to figure things out.
They've lost 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I get it. They have not played well. But they're still, you know, the Pistons have not played that well. They've won 2 in a row. They're 4-6 in their last 10. That's not some great statistic. That's not some indicator that this is a hot team right now. These next 6 games are for a team hopeful to be winning and hopeful of the playoffs. Very important.
Right.
But it's not going to happen where they go out and win all these next 6 games. They've already lost to Cleveland this year. They've already lost to Washington this year. Memphis is, like I said, the hottest team in the NBA. And Brooklyn has a chance every night because they have a superstar. So there's just no sequence, no record that makes me feel the Pistons should go out and buy at the deadline.
I will, much like you, Aaron, I will not budge from my stance of I'm ready for the future. I'm not here for the buying at the deadline for the now. Sekou has proven thus far, it's still early, that, hey, this kid's got something here. And he's ready now, in a sense, way more than we thought he'd be. He's much further along, sure, but he is the future. He's only 19. I'm here for the future and for the kids, not for making moves for now.
So there's no situation.
None.
For me, no.
There's not.
And you know what? I enjoy watching him play. I love watching him play, and I wish this team was better and healthy because Derrick Rose is such an X factor right now that I feel like he's going to carry them to some wins here that are, in a sense, going to hurt the tank, even though it's not a tank. It's just a rebuild and a retool. I think he's going to be an X factor. And when he's playing at his MVP level with less minutes.
He's true.
Awesome.
Oh, he's been phenomenal.
He is awesome.
So, okay, so you're both in a stance of, listen, it's not happening. Don't want it. There's no situation. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next 6 games. Does the mindset change? Sekou continues to go off. Oh, man, if Detroit had this piece. I don't know. Just something to think about.
Okay, it's just something to think about. What are you selling then if you're doing a buy now move? What are you selling? Are you trading Svi right now? Are you parting ways with him?
Well, that's a fair question.
Are you trading Luke?
No.
Okay, do you want to make a move? Are you trading Sekou? What are you doing here?
Well,
what are we talking about? Why would... Okay, I'm sorry. Now it's like... So, it's not you, Brendan, but I'm mad now thinking about it. I'm mad now thinking about this. We have pieces that we love. The younger guys that we enjoy watching. And if we're going to make a trade now move, we're going to have to get rid of some of them.
So here's my question.
Instead of watching them continue to flourish and grow together.
It's considered a weak draft class, right?
Every year we hear it's a weak draft class.
But
sure,
we're talking
it's a weak draft class.
But we're talking about the value of picking high. Well, let's say Detroit goes out and they win 7-8 games here before the deadline. And they go, okay, we want to buy. Well, our first round pick's not going to be that valuable. We're going to be picking 17, 18, 19. Let's part ways with it. What if they part ways with the first round pick in an effort to try to make a push for higher than the 8th seed?
It would be a terrible, terrible decision, and it would be an anomaly. Oh God, I'm not able to say the word.
Anomaly?
Yes, that of the front office in terms of what they've done throughout their tenure so far.
What is that a guaranteed? Not considering what the return is.
I think so because again, if it's not that valuable of a pick,
then
you're not going to get that valuable of a player in return.
Valuable.
It's another topic for another time.
I've already got advocate. I
know we already have our topics, but now bringing it into you never know. I can't leave it at that. All right. If we love these younger guys on this team so much and we want to see them succeed together and grow together, but then also we're going to make a win-now move, that means you have to part way with assets. That's your first-round pick, and then that's Svi, or that's, Luke, that's...
What if it's
what are you doing?
What if it's your first-round pick and Bruce Brown for an asset that you see could help your team going forward?
No. No.
I just am throwing out hypothetical.
Help you going forward how? Maybe, just maybe you win a first round series. Maybe. I can't. I'm tired of that.
And I don't even think you get that good of a piece.
You may not.
I don't think so either.
I mean, you're not really. I mean, your hope is if you were to go out and really play well the rest of the year, you finish what? 5th, 6th at best?
Mm-hmm.
You're not winning the series with a 5th or 6th seed. You're not beating a Boston